Hi, book buddies. Today's theme is sharing, and we've got two stories. Our first one is The Little Red Stroller. It's written by Joshua First, and it's published by Dial Books for Young Readers. A long time ago, when Luna was just 2 weeks old, her mommy gave her a little red stroller. For now, it lived in the hallway. But as Luna got bigger, she used it to go to school in the playground. And on weekends, Luna and her mommy and the little red stroller wandered up and down the avenue, from the bagel place to the flower shop to the pizzeria where Luna liked to get her favorite olive pizza. One day, Luna bumped into her downstairs neighbor Ernie and his mommy and daddy. "We wish we had a little red stroller like yours," they told Luna. "I'm too big for my stroller now. Why don't you take it?" Luna said. So they did. And on sunny days, Ernie and his mommy and daddy and the little red stroller roamed around the park, from the Japanese garden to the mini train that went through tunnels, to the carousel where Ernie got to ride the lion. One day, Ernie and his mommy and daddy had lunch with Gigi. Gigi and her daddy were going on a trip to visit Gigi's grandpa. "We wish we had a stroller to take with us," Gigi's daddy said. "We got this little red stroller from Luna, but I'm too big for it now. Why don't you take it?" said Ernie, and so they did. And Gigi and her daddy and the little red stroller meandered all over the cute little town where Gigi's grandpa lived, from the river to the farmer's market, to her grandpa's house, where he cooked a yummy meal in a special pot called a pressure cooker. One day, long after they got home, Gigi and her daddy met Callie at the playground. Callie and her two mommies were going to a birthday party. "We wish we had a stroller like yours," one of Callie's mommies said. "We got this little red stroller from Ernie, but I'm too big for it now," said Gigi. "Why don't you take it?" So they did. And Callie and her mommies in the little red stroller rolled all the way to the birthday party, where they saw a magic show and ate ice cream cake and dressed up as pirates to go on a treasure hunt. Callie found a doubloon. That's an old-timey coin. One day, after she'd been to many more birthday parties, Callie and her mommies had dinner with Taj. Taj and his mommy and daddy were going to the countryside to visit a farm. "We wish we had a stroller to take with us," Taj's mommy and daddy said. "We got this little red stroller from Gigi," Callie said, "but I'm too big for it now. Why don't you take it?" So they did. And Taj and his mommy and daddy in the little red stroller rambled all around the farm, from the field where they chased chickens, to the barn where they fed alpacas, to the stand where Taj got to drink some really yummy apple cider. One day, Taj and his mommy and daddy met Kavi. Kavi and his mommy and daddy were going to the beach. Like Callie and Gigi and Ernie and Taj and even Luna, who was getting to be a pretty big girl now, Kavi needed a stroller. And like Callie and Gigi and Ernie and Luna and their mommies and daddies and mommies and mommies and daddy and mommy, Taj and his mommy and daddy gave the little red stroller to Kavi, who clacked along the boardwalk with it, before giving it to Sula and her two daddies, who marched in a Halloween parade with it, and then gave it to Caroline and her mommy and daddy, who took it camping in the mountains, before they gave it to Maxine and her mommy and daddy, who went all the way to Texas and back with it, before they gave it to Sela and his mommy and daddy. And after traveling up and down the avenue and around the park and all over the cute little town by the river, and to about 100 birthday parties, to say nothing of marching in a Halloween parade, and to a farm and to the beach, and camping in the mountains and going all the way to Texas and back, the little red stroller was so tattered and tired, it could go no farther. One day, when they were out with the little red stroller, Sela and his mommy and daddy sat on the steps of a museum feeling sad. When Ben and his mommy saw them crying, Ben asked, "What's wrong?" Our little red stroller is broken, said Sella's mommy and daddy. Ben and his mommy thought about this, and then they had an idea. We have a little yellow stroller, Ben said. I'm too big for it now. Why don't you take it? So they did. And since it was summer and there was a free music festival happening in the park, Sella and his mommy and daddy and the little yellow stroller wandered over to eat corn on the cob and cheesy arepas and sing along to songs they knew by heart. One day, Sella and his mommy and daddy met Luna, who'd grown up by then and had a baby of her own. His name was Isaiah, and he was just 2 weeks old. When Sella saw that Isaiah didn't have a stroller, he said, "We got this little yellow stroller from Ben, but I'm too big for it now. Why don't you take it?" And so Luna's baby Isaiah did. Wasn't that nice? It came a full circle. Now we're going on to another book about sharing, and this is about a very persnickety cat. And it's called I Am the Boss of This Chair. It's written by Carolyn Crimmy, and it's published by Sterling Children's Books. I, Oswald Minkelhoff, Honey Bunny III, am the boss of this chair. You may look at it, and you may walk by it, but you may not sit in it, because I am the boss of this chair, and that's that. I am the boss of other things too, like 1, toilet paper, 2, the back door, 3, meals, 4, Bruce, and 5, my fluffy pillow with the golden tassels. Being the boss is much easier when you're the only cat in the house. Be nice to Pom Pom, says Samantha. He's just a kitten. I try to be nice, but it's hard. Pom Pom plays with the toilet paper without my permission. Pom Pom walks through the back door without my permission. Pom Pom eats whenever he feels like it, even if it is not the proper meal time. And he sits in my chair. Today, Pom Pom fell asleep in my chair. But it's time for my favorite cooking show, Sensational Seafood with Chef Andre, and I would like to sit in my chair. So, I poke Pom Pom with my paw. He does not wake up. I arch my back and give him the double stink eye. He still does not wake up. And not even when I yowl as loud as I can at the top of my lungs. Oswald, shush, you're going to wake up Pom Pom, says Samantha. Pom Pom blinks and goes back to sleep. I skulk across the room to think. Bruce is waiting for me there. I bat him around. Ping, piff, spling, pounce. Pom Pom steals Bruce. He runs with him. I'm not happy about this turn of events. I am the boss of Bruce. Pom Pom took his mouse. I chase Pom Pom over the sofa, under the coffee table, and up the curtain. Ping, piff, spling. Pom Pom still has Bruce. Bad kitties, said Samantha. What a mess you've made. We slink underneath the sofa. Pom Pom curls up into a tight ball. I wonder if watching Chef Andre saute salmon will cheer him up. I hop onto the chair. Pom Pom follows. I stretch out as far as I can. The chair is definitely big enough for both of us. Is it possible that we can share the chair? Dare I ask? Is it also possible that it's even more fun when we share the chair? And more snugly? We watch Chef Andre saute salmon and agree that it looks quite delicious. Because I'm such a kind and generous boss, I decide that Pom Pom can be my co-boss. We headbutt to make it official. Things run even more smoothly now that we're both in charge. Toilet paper is more exciting than ever. No one gets by us when we guard the back door. Meals are always prompt and festive. Bruce now has 2 cats to play with instead of just 1. And at the end of the day, we both demand belly rubs before I climb onto my fluffy pillow with the golden tassels. Because there are some things I'm still the boss of. The end. Now it's time for a goodbye rhyme, so everybody stand up. Come on, book buddies. Book buddies, turn around. Book buddies, touch the ground. Book buddies, tap your toes. Book buddies, row your boat. Book buddies, jump up high. Book buddies, touch the sky. Book buddies, don't you giggle. I hear you, no giggling. Book buddies, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Book buddies, time to fly. Book buddies, wave goodbye. Bye.